My name is Megan Eaker, and I am currently in the Introduction to Ethics class at Catawba Valley Community College. And we had an assignment. We had to read the book Second Chances. I have never heard of this book, and I had personally never read it before. But after reading this book for this class assignment, it really opened my eyes, and it was a very good read. I would recommend it to everyone. This book, it talked about second chances and how we all get do-overs in life. We had to write a paper explaining some points from the book that we thought was interesting. Some of my points that I made was that in the book he talked about real life examples from his life and stuff that he had done to learn from it. And I thought that was interesting because people make mistakes every day, but nobody's ever open enough to admit them or to talk about them. They just go on with their life. But in reality, we're all human, and no one is perfect. No one will ever be perfect. So I think it's very important to learn from the mistakes you do make. This book also talked about how he had went to prison. He did jail time from some stuff that he did in the book. There was numerous things he talked about that he went through in his life, and then he eventually grew older and looked back, and he changed from his old ways. And I think that is a big influence on people that read the book, because it's them saying, oh, well, he made a change in his life, I can do that too. And it really helps you to put in perspective that this can be done. You can have a second chances. It's never too late to start over. It really doesn't matter what you do. You can always fix it. There's always room for improvement, and you can always do stuff to change your life around. I know I make mistakes, and I'm sure everyone else out there does, because we're human. We're not perfect. And in his book, he talked about how nobody's gonna be perfect. So you're gonna make mistakes, you're gonna mess up, but you just have to keep going on, and you have those do-overs in life. And your fate is basically I believe it's in your hands. And he also talked about this too. He stated that you can control your future. And that was another topic that one of my points I made in my paper was that the author stated that you can control what you do, because every choice you make has an outcome. The bad choices you make have an outcome on your future, and the good choices you make have an outcome on your future. It just depends on what you want to do with it. And that's in your hands, and it's completely your decision. But you have to be willing to make that statement and to make the standpoint to say, hey, I'm going to do this to better myself. That's one of the points he made, that he eventually had to look and see that he needed to do good, because his future, if you don't do good, you're going to have a bad future. And one day you'll look back and you'll see all the stuff you did and you'll regret it. So it's best to change things while you can, because it's never too late. You can always change things. I enjoyed reading this book. I thought it was very interesting. The stuff he talked about when he was in jail, and he actually was talking about the steps and everything. I just thought it was very neat and very eye-opening, because I've personally never been to prison, but I can only imagine what it's like sitting in there and just thinking to yourself, wow, I'm in here because of this, and I could be out, if I would have done this. And you're just sitting there in confinement, and you have no choice but to think about the choices you have made. And I just think this is very interesting. I loved reading this book, and my paper I had wrote about was mainly what I talked about in this video. That was the two main points, was that you can always change the outcomes. You can always change it. That's in your hands. And you also can do over any mistakes you have, no matter what they are. Thank you.